This week on the Best of Bias podcast, we got a brilliant episode for you guys. You know what I'm saying? We back in action. Episode 189 for y'all. We getting up there close to the 200s. We might do something special for the 200s. We may save it for like the 500s in the future. But we gotta celebrate every century mark. You feel me? So we may do something a little special for 200. But on today's episode, we got a lot of the usual suspects. You know what I mean? We got some sports to talk about. We got some pop culture and some cinema corner. Same kind of three bases. If you're new here, you already know I guess if you're new here, you don't know what's going on, but I should rephrase that. If you're new here, what we do is we bring all the bias to the table. Sometimes you go to podcasts to look for niche topics, like certain things and that, but me and my peoples, we talk about everything. We're not just singularly talented. We're multifaceted. You know what I'm saying? We like to talk about sports. We like to talk about pop culture. We like to talk about cinema, movies, superheroes, cooking. We like to talk about science if we're feeling a little knowledgeable. You know what I'm saying? There's multiple topics, various topics we like to talk about. We don't like to limit ourselves to one thing. So we call it the best of bias. You bring your bias to the table about anything possible. And we're going to talk about it. We're going to discuss it because we know we all have a certain bias about that topic. And though we may not care about it all, as individuals, we bring it to the table, we're going to discuss it because that's what we do. We call ourselves a family here. We discuss the bias and we just bring ours to the table. So it's the Best of Bias podcast. And, again, people that's been here week and weeks and weeks and weeks for weeks and weeks through this 3 or 4 year term of the podcast, you already know what's up. Welcome back, family. Welcome back, family. Hope you guys are having a good Friday. Welcome. Sorry about the video delays. You know what I mean? I know we dropping the audio version of the podcast early in the week, every Friday, Saturday-ish. We try to get the videos out as soon as possible, but you know what I'm saying? It's a lot on AKA's play right now. I'm not blaming him, you know what I'm saying? Because, I'm so grateful for him being a part of the pod, being a part of the Best of Bias team. You know what I'm saying? One of these days, when we get real big out there, and by the graces of you guys, keep coming back, keep clicking, keep listening, and keep participating and supporting us. You know what I'm saying? And we will get bigger and better, but it's gonna get better. Once he got a new job out there in Indianapolis. The transition. We had him really locally here in California. Until he moved, not to put too much of his business on the table, but he's got a new job. You know how it is when you work in a new job. Shoot, you got to get through that probation period. You got to work hard. So shout out to him. No worries. The video is going to be there. Always clickable, always going to be relevant topic wise. You know what I'm saying? If you missed something that we talked about last week, go back and listen. Get caught up before we come out this weekend. You know what I'm saying? Wait a little bit before you listen to this episode. Maybe listen to this on Saturday after you listen to and watch the last podcast or whatever you want to do. But the pods will be there. Episodes will be there. Again, AKA, thank you for everything that you do. Because without you, these podcasts, maybe some people wouldn't watch, you know what I'm saying? But we're grateful for everybody that tunes in. But yeah, on this podcast, we got a lot of the usual stuff to talk specifically. College football playoff was decided. Final four have been selected. There's a lot of controversy on the four that got in. Of course, we're going to update the NFL from week 13 was last week. Week 14 is now. We're getting close to the end of the season. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of these games are going to matter towards the end of the season, towards who's going to make the playoffs, AFC and NFC wise. We just saw the 49ers stomp on the Eagles, so we don't know who's going to win the NFC. But the AFC, there's some unusual suspects up on top too. So it's going to be a lot to talk about there. Fantasy football, that means we're getting to the playoffs there as well. So you already know what's going on there. I'm going to talk about the Best of Bias Invitational 2023 and talk about the teams that made the playoffs and talk about last week's results that got those teams to the playoffs. Can I do that for y'all a little bit? Bear with me. And then we're going to talk about the NBA play in-season tournament. We're in the knockout rounds in Vegas right now in the semifinals. One of the teams just played earlier today. Spoiler alert, the Bucks lost to the Pacers, but the Lakers are playing the Pelicans right now. The winner of these two semifinal games decide who's going to play in the final there in Vegas. So we'll talk about that. What else we got? Pop culture wise, we definitely got some stuff to talk about. Some trailers dropped, not only for movies and stuff, but also for GTA 6, highly awaited game. GTA 5 has been out for like 12 years now. So we're going to see about that, talk about that, and talk about some other stuff that's supposed to be coming out I'm not gonna give it away. I'm not gonna give it away yet. But then, yeah, I'm gonna review, of course, Comic-Con 2023, some pickups I got and some of my experiences from there. And it should be a good podcast, not too long, but we'll get you in and out. But either way, you're gonna chill for a while with the fam. New listeners again, welcome. Old listeners, family members. It's gonna be another great podcast, episode 189. Where that theme song at? It's right here. Your boy Lydell Dinero's in the building. Let's get it. It's the best of bias. You need the earful, you should try us. From pop culture to the movies to Unitas. It's the best of bias. Your best of bias. Yeah, it's the best of bias. What's up, everybody? What's up, everybody? What is up? It's time for another episode of the Best of Bias podcast. You already know what's good. You already know what's good. Just playing. But it is time for another episode. Welcome, welcome, welcome again. Like I said at the top of the podcast, it's time. Welcome back. You could have been anywhere in the world on this Friday, but you here with us listening to the Best of Bias podcast. Man, let me catch y'all up. You know what I'm saying? Family members, new listeners. Let me catch y'all up. It's sports time. It's pop culture time, cinema corner time. I haven't been to the movies in a while, but I need to get back there. But I hope everybody's doing good out there. Holidays are coming soon. Hope y'all ain't too broke from shopping. Black Friday was a dud for me. I don't know how it was for y'all, but Black Friday wasn't really a hit like it usually was. I didn't see any price drops really. They treated this Black Friday like you have access to stuff. So that's your Black Friday. Like, we're not going to discount any prices, but just the fact that we have them up here for you and have this available for you, that's your Black Friday. You know what I'm saying? Cyber Monday, even. I don't really know, man. I feel like it's getting really niche, like the stuff that they want you to buy in order to get a discount. You know what I'm saying? They used to be everything. Even if it wasn't electronic, they used to give you everything discounted at a significant price to make you want to go out there and fight somebody for something. But now it's like the prices aren't even good enough for people to even think about it. It's like, nah, we'll just hold our money until right before Christmas because we ain't about to be out there fighting people for stuff that's not even good priced and just be out there fighting lines and traffic and just doing all this stuff where you can just get this, get it early December. You know what I'm saying? Rather do that. Spend some more time with your family on Thanksgiving rather than go out there and do it. Anyway, that's a whole nother story, but it just feels good. Holiday season is coming back. Summer just ended, spring just ended, hot weather. You know what I'm saying? Got all the partying out. It's time to get back into the festive season, start loving your family again, seeing your family again, everybody getting back together and just rekindling everything. You know what I'm saying? Everybody was outside. I get it. Summertime. I'm outside type shit, but get back inside. You know what I'm saying? Put on a Christmas movie, drink some hot chocolate. You know what I'm saying? It's time to get together and throw down in the kitchen. We out here, Thanksgiving, Christmas cooking, Christmas dinner. It's that time of year. And then we gonna move into, the birthday for your boy and then Valentine's Day, you know what I'm saying? Little holiday stretch. Some people don't like it. And of course it's like a, what should I say? It's like definitely a way to get people into the malls. And the holidays have kind of been diluted into like shopping days and reasons to go out and spend money. But I don't know, just the time, the weather changing, and the increased motivation to want to be inside, hanging out with your family, friends, anybody who you care for, your pets. You know what I'm saying? Just get a little toasty and kick it inside for a little bit. You know what I'm saying? You can still go out, go to the holiday parties, but it's not gonna be like it was during the summer and spring when we outside every day, just trying to make something of these hot, beautiful days. This hot winter, warm, snuggly winter days are cool too. You can find something to do. But anyways, I digress. Let me not get too far into the shenanigans because we do want to get out of here sometime today. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? I don't play with this board enough. I should play with this board a lot more and see how y'all like it. See how y'all like it and feel. See how y'all like it. Oh, yeah. Cause best of bias and we keeping it real. How you feel? All right, let me stop. Cause our best writer make a whole song on this thing for y'all. You want that? Do you want that? Do you? Probably not. Anyways, let me stop. But let's get into these. Where we starting? We starting with college football. I know I don't really want to start with college football because if you know how I rock, you know how we rock. here on the Best of Bias podcast. You know my bias. I'm an Oregon Ducks fan through and through, bleeding that green. Before, last time I saw you, I was talking about how if we beat Washington, we can make it into the college football playoff, blah, blah, blah. Features in our hands. We lost them one time. I was really distraught about that. This time it's time for our revenge and doing that, blah, 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 next, this, and that. I love my school. I really do. I love everything about it. I can't even see my school because I didn't go there. I'm a Chico State grad. Went to San Jose State a couple of years. So me, I'm just a fan. I have no ties to the school as far as alumni or alumnus status or whatever, however you say it. But I am a big fan of all the sports. And to go out the way we did it this year, after having one of the best Oregon teams that we've ever had, and just for us to go out the same like we always go out, it was just so disheartening. One or two games throughout this 12, 13 game possible 14 game season, it's just we always lose one or two, and the fact that that one or two just knocks you out completely of the running of actually being in the running for the national championship is so depressing. It's like every second of every game you have to be on point, because it's the politics of it. Even if you have a great record and you're tied, which I'll talk about in a couple of seconds here, with the Final Four that did get into the college football playoff this year, it's just a wild, wild, wild concept to only be able to lose a couple of games. So much work you put in through the years, these 14, potentially, well, I guess only 12 or 11 are guaranteed, but um, I don't know. For it to be decided by, maybe potentially two losses by 6 points combined in those two losses, 3 points in each game, one because our kicker missed, and the other one we just got beat. I don't know. Washington had our number, and it just sucks because it's one of our biggest rivals, and to lose to one of our biggest rivals, and for them to have bragging rights and actually make the college football playoff over us, the last time that it's four teams in the college football playoff, the last time that the Pac-12 is actually going to exist for us to even be, well, they'll still be in the Big Ten for us to be rivals, but for them to say they have the bragging rights over us to say that they won the last Pac-12 championship that's ever going to exist is nuts. It's really nuts. And I don't know if I'm going to be able to recover from that. I think that's something that the Washington fans will always be able to have over us. And me personally, I really hope they don't win a national championship because that's something that's going to be ever more held over us as well. So that's all I really want to talk about. Thank you, Bo Nix. You're going to go off and play in the NFL now. A bunch of transfers are supposed to be looking or coming to Oregon. What's his name? Dylan Gabriel, that played at Oklahoma last year, did pretty well there. Is thinking about moving over to Oregon. Some say he's scared to go to the SEC after they moved from the Big 12 to the AC or the SEC. Some said he got paid a whole bunch of money from Nike, about $2 million to play for Oregon, and that's why he decided to go there. And he sees the weapons and sees the stuff that we can do in the Big Ten and feel like he could have some more success there. Maybe that's what it is. But I see that Dante Moore is also coming to interview with the Ducks as well. Dante Moore is supposed to come to our team as a true freshman and play, maybe sit 1 year behind Bo Nix and play in Oregon. Yeah, he came, he was almost committed. He might have been committed. Then he flipped to UCLA to play under Chip Kelly. He didn't have the best year in the world. Chip Kelly got fired. He got hurt. So now he wants to transfer from UCLA and potentially come to Oregon and try to pick up where he left off and kind of rekindle the flame that we had with him. But I don't know. If I was to choose, I would probably go Dylan Gabriel just for the fact that he's probably only going to play for one more year. Any quarterbacks that we actually have recruited or coming into the fold are going to be able to develop under him for 1 year and actually get a chance to play. I know it's kind of messed up for Ty Thompson, but he was Mario Cristobal's quarterback that he did recruit. So him not getting playing time under Dan Lanning is probably not going to be it's like a ruffle in his feathers, no pun intended. But I think that probably Dylan Gabriel, because he'll be ready. He'll be able to learn the system, jump in, plug and play, has experience starting for a team at a high level. Played great, had a game last season with 8 touchdowns. So he might look good in the orange and yellow, but me personally, Dante Moore was somebody I did want in recruiting, but I don't know. I think he rubbed me the wrong way by picking a rival school and going over there and just choosing the money over the sitting 1 year, which he probably needed to sit anyways, and ended up sitting after getting hurt. So we'll see what happens, but I guess it doesn't matter about Oregon right now because the top 4 in the college football playoffs, according to the committee, were 1, Michigan, 2, Washington, 3, I think it was Texas, and 4 was Alabama, which was kind of crazy and controversial because Florida State was undefeated, and the reason for them not being able to get into the college football playoffs is they looked like a worse team without their starting quarterback because I think he broke his leg or something like that. But at the same time, they still won the games that they needed to win the ACC championship and go undefeated to make the playoff. But the committee said that wasn't good enough, aka it wouldn't make good TV if Michigan went in there and smacked FSU, and it wasn't good TV. So they felt like Alabama beating Georgia, who was a number one team and had 21 or 29 straight wins, was significant enough for them to jump FSU, whose strength of schedule wasn't that good, I guess. And since they didn't have a starting quarterback, that would make a good competition for Michigan. And everybody knows how they feel about Michigan right now in that cheating scandal. They try to do whatever they can to have Harbaugh lose. So Alabama snuck in there. Texas is going to play Washington, and Michigan is going to play Alabama in the Rose Bowl, and Washington is going to play Texas in the Sugar Bowl. And it's kind of funny how they didn't give the Washington Huskies the Rose Bowl because they're more used to playing that there. We used to play there for the Pac-12 championship for a while, and they play USC there all the time, but I guess that's too much of an advantage to give them over Texas. You know, they're going to play favorites. The big names right now that are in the playoffs are the Blue Bloods, are Texas, Michigan, and Alabama. So Washington being there, they're just, the committee's probably hella mad because they probably want Oregon to win. So they could have like 4 big names in there that draw in a whole bunch of television. But it's sad for FSU, man, because so what else can you do besides go undefeated? You know what I'm saying? It's not your fault your quarterback got hurt, and you shouldn't be penalized for winning, and despite of the quarterback being hurt. That should be a good thing. It's just weird. And of course, the committee just kind of wants to see Alabama in there and play Michigan, like I said. And it's the last time it's going to be 4 teams anyway, so complaining next year really wouldn't make sense because, yeah, it's going to 12 teams. Yeah, no more of the 4-team selection, and no longer will they have to make that decision because it's going to be 12 teams, and all the stragglers that are at 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10 or whatever that they can't decide on what person should get in based on record. They can just go ahead and put everybody in, and just make it more of a March Madness. It's all about money, you know what I'm saying? More of a spectacle, more blocked off television spots so that they can just make money off these players, you know what I'm saying, and combat that NIL because shit. $2 million in the transfer portal. We're playing that kind of games nowadays, man. If I knew and could expect $2 million to come to me if I was good enough in high school, there would be no way I would be doing some of the stuff that I was doing in high school. I probably wouldn't have met the people that I met in high school. I love y'all. I'm sorry, but somebody offering me millions of dollars coming out of high school to play college football. And if I did play college football and the team I went to sucked and I can transfer and I have the pick of the litter, and then they are going to pay me to come to their school over another school, bruh, it would have been such a different game. Holla if you hear me. Reggie Bush, man, they're finally putting him in the USC Hall of Fame, the College Football Hall of Fame, after, taking his Heisman away and defaming his career in college just because of some stuff that is completely legal now in college football. And getting even worse, millions and millions of dollars. Well, I'm not saying that they didn't make millions of dollars on the table possibly, because they was really good. But now for them to blatantly just give unproven players coming out of high school millions of dollars just to step into school, and for them to have that money to kind of throw around just gives you so much like view of what's been going on all these years. And people are just claiming this shit is unfair now because their schools ain't getting the top recruit. Some random school that got the money. Shit, Colorado just got the number one the offensive lineman coming into the class of next year. He was on first, what's it called? Not first take. It was undisputed and everything that announced. So it was kind of crazy. I just realized once they had Colorado in the top 5 of the schools that he was going to pick from, I should have known he was going to go to CU because, yeah. But me personally, that's cool. I can't hate because I really don't care, honestly. They're in the Big 12. Since they're not a rival of Oregon anymore, you know what I'm saying? You'll see my support change definitely for Prime. Telling you, I wasn't a hater. You know what I'm saying? It was just that rivalry being in the Pac-12. I'm not going to surrender the Pac-12 and think that they're going to walk through everybody and just give him all the support in the world because he's Prime. Nah, I'm gonna stay true to my Ducks. And I think the Ducks is going to win all the time. Sorry, Prime. But excuse me, now that you're in the Big 12, and I made these statements earlier, ain't nothing changed. Now that you're in the Big 12 next year, it's all good. We ain't rivals no more. I wish you the 100% best, Daniel. You know what I'm saying? No more rivalry. You know what I'm saying? You guys are in the Big 12 now. I'll at you. In the Pac-12, I will miss all these competitions, all these games that are being played. Going to the games, Stanford, going to the games, Cal, being able to go to like the Washington. Well, they're still gonna play. I'm tripping. UCLA and stuff like that. We're still gonna play them. But I'm a Bay Area kid, so being able to see Oregon playing in Oakland and seeing them playing Palo Alto, especially Stanford. Stanford holds a special place in my heart, especially going to see the games there. Um, yeah, it's just wild to know that Stanford is just completely different now. They're gonna be playing like in the ACC if they even get accepted into there. Hopefully they get their recruiting together because again, I can root for Stanford now too since y'all ain't gonna be in the Pac-12. You know what I'm saying? Stuff is gonna change for a lot of teams except for UCLA, USC, and Washington. Oh y'all, the smoke is still there. But everybody else, I wish y'all fair ado. The Civil War still gonna be intact. So Oregon State, y'all still the beef is still there. But everybody else, you know what I'm saying? Colorado, Washington State, or Stanford, Cal, excuse me. Who else was up in our Arizona State, Arizona? All you guys, we love y'all. In a brotherly way, you know what I'm saying? A family way. Now that we ain't necessarily competitors or rivals. I wish y'all the best of luck. I'll be rooting for y'all, whatever division y'all in. Y'all gonna be my team in that division. Cause it's Pac-12 forever, y'all. For real, for real. Don't make me sad out here. But yeah, let's move into this NFL real quick. Last week we saw it was week 13, getting close to week 17, man. 4 games left, bro. The season went by so quick now. And for the Buccaneers, man, if we lose this game, it's gonna be a long next 4 weeks. I'll talk about who we playing this week and what all the stakes that it's coming with. But um, for now, let's just go over last week's scores. Starting with the Thursday night game, we had the Seahawks versus the Cowboys. I think I was recording last week when the game was on. Yeah, so I didn't make a prediction for it. But the Cowboys were able to win that game. Surprisingly, we thought it was going to be an ass kicking because a lot of the times when it's a team that's not really of the caliber of Dallas, they usually smack them and really don't leave any crumbs on the table. They just smack them, clean the plate. You feel me? And it gets kind of ugly really, 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 really fast for teams. But in this game, I wasn't watching, so I can't give you detail for detail. But I saw that the Seahawks were actually winning at a certain point, and they're holding their own, and they're putting, the Cowboys on their back foot, you know what I'm saying, and making them actually play. Because this game was actually a trap game. They play the Eagles again this week, I believe. So for this game, they probably had their sights set on the next week and weren't really taking them too seriously. But Geno Smith actually was playing again, and yeah, and DK Metcalf was eating bland up. You know what I'm saying? He was doing his thing against them. He had like 3 touchdowns for like 147 yards. And, Deron Bland has like 6 pick 6s. You know what I'm saying? I'm making history, but he is susceptible in the passing game still if he don't get an interception. So he did get ate up for a little bit, but with Dak and CD, we were able to steady the ship. Dak is actually a really, really, really high up there MVP prospect right now. The way he's handling games. If he's not whooping somebody, he's finding some way to win games in the end. So he's actually turning the corner. So it's going to be a dogfight between the 49ers, Eagles, and the Cowboys to see who's going to win the NFC. It could be, Lions are showing proven they could be a thorn in somebody's thigh, but they're still gonna have to show me. They lost to kept it close to some bad teams. We're getting smacked by some bad teams and lost to some bad teams too. So I don't know if they're the same caliber as those top 3, but we're gonna see. The NFC is gonna be a dogfight. We got into the Sunday games, we had the Colts beat the Titans 31-28. The Falcons beat the Jets, which I didn't really enjoy, 13-8. The Lions beat the Saints 33-28, which I enjoyed. The Saints are falling right now. Derek Carr is falling off. I don't know. I don't really see any fake Saints fans in our community anymore. They're third in the division. We beat them already. We got to play them again, but towards the end, I think it's our last game of the season. But you know what I'm saying? Like, we already beat them once. They lost the Falcons once, maybe twice. And if we beat the Falcons this week, I'll get there when I get there. That's called foreshadowing, It's called foreshadowing. But yeah, they did lose. I think it dropped them to 5-7, I believe. Yeah, after having a pretty good record. The Broncos lost to the Texans 17-22, ending the Broncos like 5-game winning streak. Rest of them are getting back on track, but CJ Stroud continues to show improve. He's probably gonna win offensive rookie of the year. He did him and D'Amico Ryans may win coach of the year. So we'll see. Texans won 22-17 there, but he's looking really good. The Chargers beat the Patriots 6-0, which is probably the ugliest game I've ever seen. Justin Herbert and the Chargers, I don't know what's going on. I don't know if they're trying to get their coaches fired. I don't know if they're trying to make Justin Herbert look bad, but they just look terrible on all facets of the ball. They're supposed to be my AFC team. You're supposed to be doing Justin good. But y'all just terrible, bro. You're letting everybody do whatever they want to you. They should not be stopping your offense. I know a lot of receivers on the offense are hurt. I could be missing some linemen, but you have Justin Herbert, you have Austin Eckler, you have Keenan Allen. I mean, you have Quentin Johnson. He was a first round or maybe second round receiver pick, but he did great in college. Get it together, bro. So you have to do something. You have teams out there that are trash, doing way more than you. You guys are similar to my team right now, the Buccaneers. Like you have all the pieces in line. Just perform, do something well. You have Joey Bosa and Khalil Mack. You can't sack nobody. You can't stop nobody. You have Derwin James. You have Asante Samuel Jr. You have some players. You have Kenneth Murray. Yes, Kenneth Murray. You have all these players in the defense that should be able to make plays, but they're not doing it, and it's just crazy. It's just crazy. And Brandon Staley's supposed to be a defensive coach, and the defense is terrible, just like Todd Bowles. The defense is not performing it, but yet they're supposed to be defensive coaches. But I'm not talking about our game yet, because we actually did something good this week. Anyways, Chargers win 6-0 still. Just 2 field goals, no offensive touchdowns. And it made me lose in my fantasy league, actually, because, even though fantasy doesn't matter to the players, but they shouldn't be performing to where my quarterback only gets 7 points. Like, something's wrong there. Cardinals beat the Steelers 24-10. I think Kenny Pickett got hurt. He's in a walking boot towards the end of the game. But still, man, the Steelers on a downfall. The defense has been able to keep them in games, win them games over throughout the season. But at this point right now, it's just looking kind of bad. Yeah, especially with Kenny Pickett hurt. The requisite throws that need to be made to win them games, they don't have that in their quarterback room. Mason Rudolph and they have Mitch Trubisky, both of them not looking good right now. So they're losing games they should win. The Cardinals should have been a winnable game for them, especially with their record. They have I think they're like 6-3 or something like that. Maybe like they have a really good record, a winning record, anyways. And losing to the Cardinals, I don't know, 24-10 especially. Dolphins get back on track, winning 45-15. Tyreek Hill's a monster. AFC, yeah, they're leading the AFC. I think they're 9-3. So with that, I mean, as long as they can put up numbers and play defense against the good teams in the AFC, they should be able to keep that number 1 seed and get that bye. The Chiefs are looking too good right now. The Ravens play the Rams this week. The Rams have been looking kind of good. But we'll see if the Ravens can take over. I think the Ravens are 9-3 as well. So I think the Miami Dolphins play somebody really easy, so I think they're going to actually win. But Baltimore actually plays the Rams too, so if they win and the Dolphins lose, they can overtake first place. So motivation on both sides, but I do like the Dolphins team. They have good speed, a good offense. The Kyle Shanahan protege out there running the offense pretty similar and just been able to do what the 49ers are able to do on the NFC and the AFC. The defense is a little better. I wouldn't say a lot better over there in San Francisco. But, the Miami Dolphins got some pieces. They got Javon Holland in the back end, Oregon boy. I'm going to mention him first. They got Bradley Chubb, Jalen Phillips out of Miami. He's pretty good. Of course, they got Jalen Ramsey back there now, recovering from that injury on the back end. Got some players out there. So if their defense gets strong and they're able to shut some of those premier teams down in the AFC, we could see a Dolphins 49ers. That'd be cool. A Kyle Shanahan, Mike McDaniel's little reunion kind of thing. Eagle. I would like to see the Ravens or the Miami Dolphins get a chance in the NFC. I'm not really big on seeing the same team win every time unless it's my team. So I'm cool. I'll probably not seeing the Chiefs being in the Super Bowl or in the playoffs is cool, but not in the Super Bowl. You know what I'm saying? Just let that cool off for a little bit. Just let it cool off. Chill out, Patrick Mahomes. A little less commercials him and Travis Kelce. The Taylor Swift stuff cool off and let somebody else win. But moving on, Panthers and Buccaneers. Oh, I can talk about this. This game was terrible though. Rainy game in Tampa. We were at home. I think fucking the Panthers, excuse my language, are 1-10. And we couldn't put the Panthers away. Big plays, big game by Mike Evans. I have to take a second to acknowledge Mike Evans right now. In my opinion, best receiver in the NFL. Has been for the last couple of years. Everybody downplays Tampa and everything we do, anyways. But you should give a round of applause to Mike Evans, probably being the best offensive player in Tampa Bay history ever. And I've watched a lot of Tampa Bay football over the last 17, 18 years. Uh, I mean, I'm 32 years old, but when I really started watching them, you know what I'm saying, and following religiously, um, man, it's been some ups and downs, and no offensive weapon has been good as Mike Evans. There were some players in that draft where I wanted over Mike Evans, even Johnny Manziel. Like, we needed a quarterback at the time. I was like, maybe Johnny Manziel. But nah, we got Mike Evans, and he's been consistent for us for years and years. Ever since he started and got drafted to us, he had 10 straight years of 1,000 yards. And with the league being 17 games or 17 weeks this year, 16 games, he's able to stack up even more yards. But he's been doing that before he even he's been hitting 1,000 before it was 17 games. So we out here, he's being consistent, a most underrated receiver in the NFL, along with a lot of players, a list of Buccaneers who are very underrated, not talked about as much as some of these other players, not put on a pedestal as much as these other players. I think people are starting to realize what Mike Evans is and what he represents. He's not the speedy guy like Tyreek Hill. He's not the super flashy guys like Chase Young, Jamar Chase, Odell Beckham, Jefferson. He's the big guy, the Larry Fitzgerald type, quiet, goes about his business, catch radius is crazy, makes plays whenever he needs to make plays, has that speed at 6'5", still can run a 4.5 on you. So that elusive speed that you don't really know about, doing his thing. And no matter what the quarterback is, Josh Freeman, Jameis Winston, Fitzpatrick, Baker Mayfield, you know what I'm saying? Tom Brady, it don't matter who it is. He's still gonna get 1,000 yards. He's still gonna produce and still put on for the Buccaneers. And that's pretty much what he did this week. Again, it was a super rainy game, pretty much a monsoon. Nothing was popping. Over the last couple of weeks, our running game, Rachaad White, and our running game was getting a little bit better. So we can lay our heads on that. But I guess 4 of our inside linebackers were hurt. 1 of our starting corners were hurt. So our defense was lacking. They're able to run the ball and score on us. After we got a little lead, I thought we were just going to put it away after crazy plays, 75-yard touchdown from Mike Evans, like big plays from Mike Evans, back to back to back to back to back. I thought we were going to be able to put the Panthers away, especially being the worst team in the NFC. Them, of course. Don't get it twisted. But yeah, it just was ugly. The rain just made it all bad. Of course, Baker Mayfield still trying to force the ball to Mike Evans. Hopefully, now that he broke the record, he'll just spread the ball around, because there is some drama going on right now because Chris Godwin is not really being used at all in relation to Mike Evans and even other receivers on the team. It's Trey Palmer, like, you know what I mean? So get Chris Godwin back involved. That'll fucking loosen up Mike Evans some more. We can actually open up the offense and make plays and win games we should win, and stop losing the games and having to be 50-50, lose 2, win 1, lose 2, win 1. Because if we do lose, the coaches are for sure going to get fired. I know if we win, it kind of like increases the odds of the coaches actually getting saved. But in my opinion, I don't care, man. Just look good. Like, it doesn't matter. We have a precedent we need to keep. You know what I'm saying? They're going to make the decisions on the front office regardless. I don't really mind Jason Light. He's been really good with our draft, finding some diamonds in the rough. Antoine Winfield, of course, Vita Vea. He drafted Tristan Wirfs. And he's also made some bad decisions as far as drafting corners and drafting running backs thus far. It's just like he can't really get it right. And he also drafted Chris Godwin, of course. But yeah, it's just we should win more. We should be way better than 5-7. Although since we are 5-7, we are tied with the Saints for second place. We have the tiebreaker over them. And since I believe the Falcons are 6-6, when we play them this week, if we beat them, then we can take first place, being 6-7, and actually have beating them. Yeah. So it's a lot on the table right now, but I don't really want to get my hopes up because I'm highly able to get disappointed, not only because I did with Oregon, but Tampa is just, I know I can't, just because we won last week, I cannot get our hopes up because we just beat the worst team in the NFC, barely, too, by 3 points. You know what I'm saying? We won 21-18. Got lucky to win that. So winning, I guess, takes us further away from drafting a quarterback and keeping our coaches. But at the same time, if we just draft the better pieces that improve our team as far as pass rush goes, some outside pass rush, and also maybe some corners that actually can lock down and stop drafting corners in late rounds that aren't really good. Take a risk on a corner that can be locked down and you pair him with Antoine Winfield. You know what I'm saying? Devin White highly hurt, making a lot of mistakes. He was highly touted coming out of the draft, running a 4.4, being a linebacker that can run sideline and sideline. It's just like he's not getting stuff together. The reads aren't there. He wants to get paid. He almost held out this year because he wants to be paid like one of the highest linebackers in the NFL just because he won a Super Bowl. Nah, man, your development isn't there yet. We have other players we need to pay. Again, I'm all about paying Mike Evans. We have a contract dispute going with him right now. We need to keep him. He just broke a record. He's a Hall of Famer. We need to keep him. Yeah. Anyways, let me not just go too on a tangent there because this panel will be like 6 hours. But moving on, we got the Eagles and 49ers. This game was a really good game for the 49ers. Shit, 42-19. This was a revenge game last year in the playoffs. We know what happened. Shoot, the Eagles hurt like 3 of the 49ers quarterbacks in the playoffs, which kind of risked them or cost them a trip to the Super Bowl. Um, this game, they heard all the stuff that, the Eagles were doing. Their record was like 9-1, 10-1, or something like that. So with that on their mind, I think there was a lot of extra motivation for the 49ers to come out here and perform and show that they could compete with the top team in the NFC. And they did that, 42-19, as you can see. Defense was humming. And Brock Purdy was serving. Another MVP candidate. CMC, Debo is getting off, taking slants 67 yards to the house. It was crazy. They're going to be a team to be reckoned with. Like I said, it's going to be a dogfight in the playoffs for those top 3 spots or the top spot. Not only for the bye, but just whoever's going to win the NFC championship. You know what I'm saying? Browns and the Rams. Rams are on a steady diet of winning right now. 36-19, they won second place in the NFC West, making noise for a wild card spot and looking to, take somebody out and be spoiler in the playoffs. And Stafford, giving the last hoorah. Who knows what's going to happen next year? But Puka Nacua, Cooper Kupp, Kyron Williams, Tyler Higbee. I think he got hurt last game actually though. So, and the defense is playing better than expected. So you never know with the Rams. So they're out here winning games, and they play the Ravens this week. If they beat the Ravens, who knows what can happen? 36-19 for them. Chiefs lost to the Packers in a surprise Sunday night game, 27-19. I don't know what's going on with the Packer or the Chiefs. Offense is looking kind of, putrid. I don't know what they can do to get better. Young guys that need to develop. I don't know. It's not going to be a flash in the pan like last year. They can put anybody together and just win the game and win the games and make the Super Bowl and just get there and just win off of like pure know-how. The offense needs to get together and figure something out because if you let Miami win that number 1 seed and get home field, who knows what's going to happen? I think Kansas City had it the last 5 years, and we're playing. The AFC Championship had to go through Arrowhead. So it might not happen this year. It's going to be either maybe the Ravens or the Dolphins where you have to play at. So we're going to see what happens with them, but they did lose 27-19. And the Monday night game, really good game, overtime game. I think it was overtime. The Bengals won 34-31 over the Jaguars. Although we weren't watching Joe Burrow, we had Jake Browning in there running back up for Cincinnati and doing a great job. And unfortunately, we saw Trevor Lawrence did get hurt this game. His own teammate stepped on his ankle, bending his leg back. His back got twisted over his leg, and it looked terrible. It looked like a knee injury. We saw him try to get up and walk it off, but he couldn't. He threw his helmet, took a knee, and he had to get helped off the field. So he couldn't finish the game, and the Jaguars ended up losing. They were actually playing for the number 1 seed. They're 8-3. If they would have won, they would have went 9-3 as well and been tied with the Ravens and the Dolphins for that first place. So shouts out to him. Hopefully he gets better. But yeah, that was week 13. And I'm sorry, guys. I don't know who I picked to win. I can go over this and think I can guess. I think I picked the Colts to win 31-28. I picked the Jets to beat the Falcons, and they lost. Lions versus Saints. I picked the Lions to beat the Saints. I always pick the Saints to lose. Texans and Broncos. I did pick the Texans to beat the Broncos. Patriots or Chargers beat the Patriots. I did pick that for y'all. Steelers and Cardinals. I probably picked the Steelers to win that. So I got that one wrong. Dolphins and Commanders, I did pick the Dolphins to win. Panthers and Bucks, I picked the Bucks to win that. 49ers and Eagles. I don't remember who I picked in that one. I may have picked the Eagles. I'm not gonna lie, so I'm not gonna front. You guys keep me honest with that one. Browns and Rams, I did pick the I'm gonna say I picked the Rams. Chiefs and Packers, I picked the Chiefs, of course. I got that one wrong. Jags and Bengals, and I picked the Jags to win because I was thinking the Bengals didn't have Joe Burrow and the Jags were on a roll, so they would win. But due to injuries, and losing my bet, but get well soon, Trevor. But shoot, I needed 29 completion or 29 pass attempts from Trevor Lawrence, and he got hurt in the beginning of the third quarter, early third quarter, and he definitely would have got that. But anyways, I digress. Let me get some water real quick. The old Gatorade bottle's back. I haven't had him in a while, but he back. Um, but yeah, this week, week 14. A lot of stuff on the line, like I said. So we got some matchups, week 14. Fantasy football's in the playoffs right now. If you have that 12-team league and you have 6 teams making the playoffs are starting this week to eliminate, starting with the quarterfinal. So yeah, hope y'all are ready for that. New England's playing Pittsburgh at Pittsburgh. I got Pittsburgh winning that game. New England, actually, they're playing right now. And New England was winning, so I shouldn't make this score because I already know what's going on. They're winning 21-10. And again, Pittsburgh don't got Kenny Pickett. So I got New England winning that game and finishing them off. Atlanta at the Falcons. Atlanta playing Tampa Bay at home. And Atlanta's favored by 2, but of course I got Tampa in that. Let's do it. Let's win a game. Let's win that division. Let's do it. Even though you're gonna get smacked in the playoffs, but whatever. The Ravens are playing the Rams at home. The Ravens are favored by 7.5. I got the Ravens in that game. Sorry, Derek. Detroit is playing the Bears in Chicago. I got Detroit winning that game. They're favored by 3.5. Colts are playing Cincinnati at Cincinnati. Cincinnati favored by 1. I don't know, man. Gardner Minshew's been on a roll. Cincinnati, I don't know if the Jake Browning stuff is gonna carry over. And that boy's a Washington player. You didn't think I knew that, huh, Jake? I'm going Indianapolis on that ass. Take down. That's an upset game right there. Jacksonville at Cleveland. I don't know who was the backup for Jacksonville. Was it CJ Beathard? Ooh, I don't know about all that. Against the Browns, Joe Flacco looked good last week. I got Cleveland at home against the Jaguars. I think the Browns will be able to do it, and Joe Flacco can put that thing together if you don't get benched for DTR, which I think will be a mistake. We have Carolina at New Orleans. Oh my goodness, New Orleans, you are goddamn lucky. That makes it so much worse if the Buccaneers lose. I got Carolina winning this game. I don't care. I got Carolina winning this game, beating the Saints. The Saints are favored by 5.5 at home. This will be the last straw. I don't know if they'll cut Derek Carr if they lose to the Panthers, but I got the Panthers beating the Saints. Houston Texans at the Jets. Houston's favored by 3.5. I got the Texans beating the Jets for sure. Minnesota's at Las Vegas, favored by 3. Minnesota's favored by 3 in Vegas. I got the Raiders. I got the Raiders winning this game at home. Seattle playing San Francisco. San Francisco favored by 10.5 at home. God damn. I got the 49ers in that one too, though. I ain't gonna go front. And then that was the last. Oh no, I got more. I was like, is that the last game? There's more here. We had the Buffalo Bills at Kansas City. I got Kansas City in a revenge game. Even though Buffalo's playing good right now, I got Kansas City in a revenge game. They're favored by 1.5 at home. Kansas City is, but I still got Kansas City. Denver Broncos are playing the Chargers. Chargers are favored by 3 at home. I got Chargers, of course. Let's go, Justin. Philly at the Cowboys. Cowboys favored by 3.5 at home. Philly, I think they're winning the revenge game. I think they got this one. Ooh, they'll sweep the Cowboys then, huh? Ooh. I got Philadelphia. Sorry, Cowboys fans. I'm not really feeling too strong about this one, but I got the Cowboys. I got the Eagles. Titans playing Miami at home. Miami is 13.5-point favorites. I got Miami at home. Miami. Hope they got Miami on them. I got Tyreek Hill, even though I got to buy a week because I'm the #1 seed. I'll talk about that in a second. Green Bay at New York Giants. Green Bay is favored by 6.5 points at New York. I don't know who's starting for New York. I don't think Danny Dimes is back. I think it's still Tommy DeVito. Yeah. Jordan Love's been on a streak right now. Has been balling out, and they have potential to make a wild card for the playoffs. So I got the Green Bay Packers beating the Giants at home. New York, I'm sorry. Y'all can get a high draft pick, or maybe you get your quarterback of the future. Who knows? I can see Michael Penix playing in New York, by the way. But yeah, that's it. Let me go back over who I got just in case y'all want to mirror those and try to win you some money. I got Pittsburgh over, well, okay, I'm not gonna go Pittsburgh. I got Tampa at Atlanta winning, beating Atlanta. I got the Rams playing Baltimore. Baltimore's home, but I got the Rams losing. I got Baltimore winning at home. Detroit's at Chicago. I got Detroit winning in Chicago. Indianapolis is at Cincinnati. I got Indianapolis with the upset in Cincinnati. Jacksonville's playing the Browns. I got the Browns beating the Jacksonville Jaguars. I got the Carolina Panthers beating the Saints at home in New Orleans. I got Houston beating the Jets in New York. I got Las Vegas beating Minnesota at home. I got San Francisco winning at home against Seattle. I got Kansas City winning at home against the Bills. I got Chargers winning at home against the Broncos. I got Philly winning in Dallas. I got Miami winning at home against the Titans. And I got Green Bay winning in New York. So if y'all want to mirror those, y'all, if y'all want to win some money, take some of those. Don't take all of them. Don't because who takes every game in the NFL in a parlay? So just take a couple of those. You know what I'm saying? Take the information I just gave you to make a wise decision and you know, decipher through those and make a pick for you. If you win some money, hit my Cash App. Hopefully, AK be putting it up here sometimes when I be asking for that, but I don't know. But yeah, if not, also gamble responsibly if you're doing prize picks or whatever you think you trying to do any kind of parlays because you know what I'm saying that shit can get addicting. And again, don't use my shit as gospel. Just use it as strategies to weed out teams you don't want to pick and stuff like that. Yeah. So quick NBA touch in. NBA tournaments going on right now. In-season tournament. The Nuggets are in it, so I don't give about it really. But I'm gonna detail it for y'all because everybody thinks it's a hit this year. Everybody thinks it's the next big thing. Me personally, I don't really necessarily like it. I mean, if you're in the tournament, it could be beneficial for you. But if you're not in the tournament, you keep playing the same teams like 7 times because you're in the tournament with this team and they're on your regular schedule or in your division. It's like you're playing the same team over and over. It's like the 5th time we're about to play the Nuggets are about to play the Rockets. We played the Clippers like 4 times already. And it's still the beginning of the season. It's like, damn, can we play somebody else? And that's what sucks about the in-season tournament. I mean, the teams that are not in the tournament get a lot of rest because they're sitting there watching the games and get to like, you know, if they have travel, they get like 2 or 3 days in between games instead of just playing back to backs or one day in between games. But at the same time, I think it is beneficial for people that like to watch basketball. The courts are kind of interesting. The court being crazy lets you know it's an in-season tournament game. You know what I mean? Teams play a little bit harder, puts focus on teams that usually may not get focused. Like right now, the Pacers just beat, like I said, beat the Bucks in the semifinal out there in Vegas. Let me see if I have the score here. I do. They won 128 to 119 to move on to play the winner out of the Lakers in the Pelicans game right now. And the Pelicans, I were winning last time I watched the game. I can check the score for y'all now, actually, just to give y'all a live update. I'm recording this on Friday, just to let y'all know what may and may not be happening. So give me 1 second. This app is taking forever. Come on, Bleacher Report. Shout out Bleacher Report. Oh, God damn. The Lakers are winning 60 to 90. Holy hell. Yeah, it looks like the Lakers are gonna go on to play the Pacers in the championship, if you ask me. Good gracious. This tournament got the Lakers written all over it. It's gonna be something for them to stand on and just kind of brag about being the first winners of the in-season tournament. I could be hating, but hey, man, they couldn't have one of the big teams win it. You know, of course, the Lakers. Who better than the Lakers? 30 points, y'all. God damn. It do sound like I'm hating though. But yeah. So basically, semifinals is a 1-game knockout. Last week was the knockout rounds. Yeah, the 4th and the 5th were the knockout round games. The Knicks played the Bucks, and I think the Lakers played the Suns. Pacers played. Who did the Pacers play? Whoever they played, they whooped on them. And then on the other side, the Pelicans played. Who the Pelicans play? I don't know these things. But anyways, it don't matter. It's single game elimination now, and then I don't know exactly when the championship game for the tournament. I would say probably in a couple of days, and then it'll be over. The champion gets like $100,000 each for each player, maybe $500,000 to the winner of the whole tournament for each player. So yeah, something to make the players play harder. But after the season's over, we can get back to the regular season. I think every game counts in the tournament for your regular season record, except for the championship game. So I don't know why that makes sense, but Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. It's been cool. They're probably gonna make it crazier next year. It's gonna probably be on some kind of crazy streaming service. It's gonna pay a hell of money for it. It's interesting for it to be like already started by game five. Like we started the tournament like by game five, really early in the season to keep everybody playing. So it's an interesting strategy. I don't hate it too much, but I'm just gonna hate on it for a little while because the Nuggets aren't in it. So that gives me a reason to hate on it. Um, but yeah, it's not too bad. It's not too bad. At first I was kind of skeptical about how it was gonna be and what it was gonna be like. But now I can see the benefits of it. You know what I'm saying? Next year if we're in it, maybe I'll pay a little closer attention. But now it just seems like a little just hyped up games that are just going on. People don't truly understand it yet. But I guess maybe when the more rules and they'll refine it, I'm sure. But right now, it looks like it's going to be Lakers versus Pacers. Tyrese Halliburton, emerging as a superstar. That young team. Bruce Brown went over there. Shout out Bruce. I'm gonna root for Bruce. He helped us win a ring out there in Denver, so I'm gonna root for him always. Buddy Hield and Miles Turner. We're always talking about getting traded the last 2 years, and see them out there balling now. Um, Shoot, Matherin, Naismith. Hey, they got some ballers, and we're gonna see what's gonna truly happen in the final. But it's looking like it's gonna be the Lakers to take, to be 100% honest. But I'll be checking back in, and let you guys know who won the championship, and just be back with more regular season stuff. Nuggets lost last night. Jamal Murray is on a minutes restriction, still coming back from the ankle injury after he came back from the hamstring injury. Jokic had one of his worst shooting nights of his career last night and still had a triple double, but it was, we lost to the Clippers. I know the Clippers wanted to beat us. We beat them so many times in a row. But yeah, that's it for basketball really for now. More to come pretty soon. But let's talk about this fantasy football. I know a lot of people are in the fantasy football playoffs right now. My league right now, the Fantasy Football Invitational, we are in the playoffs, right in the thick of it this week. Actually, the Thursday night football game is going right now. I know one of the teams has some players on the Pittsburgh Steelers, their kicker at least. So we'll see how that turns out after that game is over. But it is time for the playoffs. Yeah. Yeah, the playoffs are gonna be extra special this year, man, because a lot of money is on the line. I succeeded, was able to get that 1 seed. John, aka Hot Boys, was able to lock down that 2 seed and get a bye. Is that real? Last 2 years, 12th place, holding down the last place trophy, the toilet trophy, coming out of the mud, second place bye. Waiting to see who fights it out. But first, let me talk about these week 13 scores real quick. I solidified first place, beating Cam's Catering 140 to 137. Armpit beat. Ooh, I didn't put it in there. It looks like it. Who was it? Armpit beat. Oh yeah, it was running back living paycheck to paycheck. 130 to 107. Shenanigans beat K-Swag beat Shenanigans. Excuse me, my bad. K-Swag 132 to 122. Pay Dirt lost or beat You're Not the Boast of Me 118 to 114. Dijon's dazzling team lost to King 131 to 106. Hot Boys lost to Sean's championship team 154 to 109. So that last matchup determined who makes the playoffs and got what seed. The standings are really close. Everybody played really hard this season. And I'm sorry, I'm not going to talk about the consolation bracket. Don't got time for it. Got a lot to talk about. But we're going to talk about the playoff bracket and who's coming up this week and who's going to play for the big money again. First place, 900. Second place, 200. Third place gets their money back. A total of $1,200. 12 teams, $100, blah, blah, blah. So yeah, we're gonna see. And a trophy, we're getting that championship belt with your name etched on as a 2023 champion. And in last place, I guess we will talk about the consolation bracket a little bit throughout the playoffs, but not right now. But we're gonna talk about who gets that toilet trophy. And next year at the next draft, my guys, if you're listening to this, we need to talk about what happens to the player that gets last place. Instead of this toilet trophy, we need to go a little bit bigger. We need them to do something, not something super embarrassing like a tattoo or nothing like that. We need to figure out something that happens to this last place person so that halfway through the season, if they're going to get in last place, they're not just like giving up and like, whatever, last place is last place. I got the little toilet trophy. Nah, we're trying to motivate y'all not to get last place. We don't want y'all to get last place. We want y'all to not want to get last place because something will happen that you don't like. You know what I'm saying? Maybe we are able to pick your player for the first round or third round or something crazy like that. Maybe not first round because first round's hella crucial, but we'll figure something out next year at the draft just so we have it together. But yeah, we don't like that 12 place shit. We don't like people being okay with that 12 place shit. All right, but first, let's talk about this playoff bracket. First place, you got me. I gotta buy. I'm just waiting. I'm just waiting to see who comes out of this playoff. Second place, we got John Hot Boys. He's just waiting too. He gets the second. I think he gets the highest seed that comes out. So first round matchup, we got Cam's Catering versus Shenanigans. Y'all played a lot. Y'all played a lot of games. Y'all haven't played necessarily each other a lot, but y'all played a lot of football, putting up high scores. Got a lot of the superstar players that need to be in the playoffs, the point getters that are in the playoffs. So we're gonna see what happens. You're gonna see what happens. It's a 5 seed versus a 4 seed matchup. So this is even as it can get. 5 versus 4 seed. And then we got the 6 seed Armpit, who was one of the players that was up top most of the season, but due to some technical difficulties in how fantasy football works, he dropped down towards the end of the season. He held down first for a couple of weeks, man, like maybe 3 or 4 weeks. Then he dropped all the way down to number 6, last playoff standing able. And he sweated it out for this week to get into the playoffs and represent and play against K-Swag, who sweated it out, was number 11 at one point in the season and crawled all the way back to make the playoffs, to get the 3 seed. The 3 seed. It was a hell of a climb to get all the way back up there. But yeah, it's gonna be a battle. Whoever wins those seeds, let me see how it plays out. If Cam's Catering beats Shenanigans, I play Cam's Catering unless Armpit beats K-Swag. If Armpit beats K-Swag and Cam's Catering beats Shenanigans, I get Armpit and Hot Boys gets Shenanigans. So basically, whoever wins, I get the lowest seed out of the winners because I was first place, and that's what it warrants me. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna hate on it, but then whoever wins the higher seed out of the 2 that wins, that's who Hot Boys gets, and that's who John gets in the semifinal. You know what I'm saying? I'm just trying to, you know what I'm saying? I'm not going to be like the guy that says, oh, I just want to win this and just get my money back for shit. But I'll be so happy if I get third at least, win the first semifinal match, get that third place. But yeah, but I want first place. I ain't settling for nothing. My team has been doing great all year. I just hope it gets to the playoffs and when it gets to the final, it's not like some patty cake game that everybody sits down or people get hurt or don't play for. It's gonna be cool. I'm really excited to see. I'm really excited to show you guys the Best of Bias family because I've been talking about it like literally all year in every episode, documenting step by step what's going on with the not college football playoff, but the Fantasy Football League Best of Bias Invitational 2023. If y'all want to get in it again, hit me up, man. You've listened to this and you're actually paying attention to the pod, in the pod listening, being one of those faithful listeners. If you want to be in it, hit me, DM me somewhere on the pod. YouTube, you know where to hit me at on the Twitter sphere, the Snapchat to the world. Just hit me up. If you're close to me, you got my number too. So if you want to be in the league, just hit me up and we can do that shit. It's getting bigger and better. We're not doing more than 12 teams, but as we increase the price, sometimes we get a little people that drop off and aren't really interested. But as we increase the price, a lot of our core players get more interested because it's the opportunity to win money. And it's not always the same players up there winning. I mean, I am always up there, but it's not always the same person winning in the league. It's not always the same playoff players in the league. And everybody gets so close and everybody has certain seasons. Like I said, I've had the same people in the league for a while now, at least the same core people, and they know they know what's up. That's why they always keep coming back. You know what I'm saying? Everybody might not win every year, but it's the opportunity to win and the funness of it throughout the season and the competitiveness of it throughout the season is great. And I mean, like I said, we'll talk. You know what I'm saying? The boys is pretty solid right now, but I'll talk to them. If anybody drops out, hit me up. If y'all want to be in it, we'll see what's going on. So let's move into some pop culture. We're almost out of here, people. I promise y'all. Just a couple of things for the pop culture. Just a little, little chit chat. Not a hella pop culture on the docket, but we are going to talk about GTA 6 because that trailer did drop. Let's talk about that really quickly here. We saw some crazy stuff, man. It gave Vice City vibes. Hopefully AKA can find some clips that won't get us taken down out there. But it was really cool. It gave us some glimpses of some real stuff that happened in Florida, which was kind of trippy to see the juxtaposition of the real events and the stuff they put in the game. The graphics are incredible. The people and the figures of the people and the realness of the people looks incredible. Coming from Grand Theft Auto 3 all the way to Grand Theft Auto 5 right now has been out for like 10 plus years, but to have to have this new one coming out and the graphics be so advanced and just being able to play it and thinking about the RP potential makes me want to one get a PC first of all, and also it's just like man, like getting the homies on a multiplayer, GTA, and do shit that's hella realistic and just think about the VR capabilities in in the next one that's gonna come out. If this one is looking this good, just imagine the capabilities of doing stuff. With the next one. And I really haven't gotten into RP, but I know Johnny Mac 650, Young John's been on here talking about it, trying to get me into it. So I am thinking about because the game at the end of this amazing trailer, they hit us with, oh yeah, it's coming out in 2025. So it's not coming out next year or anytime this next year since we're in December. It's coming out the year after that. And it's probably gonna come out in December of 2025 as well. You know what I'm saying? I think the main character is Lucia, Hispanic woman, and they're calling it not Vice City, but like L something like I forgot. I'll get the direct name for you. But it's supposed to be like a spinoff of like Miami. Um, but we'll see what's going on. It looks really cool. I'm sure everything you're gonna be able to do in the game's gonna be epic and graphic as fuck, and RP is gonna be crazy as hell. Um, man, I can't wait to see it. That speaking of 2025, that just adds to a list of a whole bunch of stuff that's supposed to be coming out 2025 that I just happen to have a list for. Starting with Batman 2, the Batman 2 with Chris Pattinson. What's his name? That's the name, right? And then we have Avatar number 3. I don't know how you guys felt about Avatar 2, The Way of Water, but I liked it. And James Cameron is just going to keep taking it deeper and deeper into the Navi land. I think they're probably going to do like all different elements. They have the water tribe and the forest tribes. They're going to do like a fire tribe. They're going to do probably like they already did the earth tribe. So like an air tribe. Or no, actually the Navi are the air tribe, right? So they still have to do like a forest tribe. I think we'll do. I don't know. We'll see what's going on because I think there's like 4 or 5 of the avatars that are actually going to come out in total. So we'll see that. We'll see Superman Legacy, which is going to be James Gunn and his first attempt at, well, I don't know if it'd be his first movie, but it'd be one of his main movies of his DCU run and revamp of the DC comic book and movie cinematic universe. Um, Superman is, of course, one of the biggest heroes over there at DC. So seeing his adaptation of Superman and who he picks for that, and who actually is Superman, is going to be epic to see. And then also we have Shrek 5, which is a rumor, but I've seen a lot of postings that Shrek 5 is in the works. So that's something I'm really excited to see. Or, even if it's in the works and maybe not necessarily coming out 2025, I'm ready to see that. Mike Myers, Eddie Murphy, Cameron Diaz, even though all these people are maybe getting older and probably not what they were in the past, his voice acting is just so epic, man. I'm thinking about doing voice acting myself. And I'll talk to you guys about those superheroes and that shit I'm going to talk about soon. That surprise and that new shit I already talked about in the last episode, but voice acting skills and all the homies are it's gonna be incredible. I ain't gonna give too much away, but we got stuff in the works. It's gonna be incredible. I just hope you guys are ready for it. But anyways, yeah, Shrek 5, the Minecraft movie for the kids, what I'm saying, that's probably highly anticipated. Fantastic Four for the Marvel people. Yeah, that's really highly anticipated. We already heard Pedro Pascal is going to be Reed Richards, young Kirby, I forgot her name, Sue Storm, and a couple other people have been rumored cast or even confirmed cast for Fantastic Four. So we're supposed to get that in um, 2025. Spider-Man Beyond the Universe, the sequel to, well, the part 2 to Across the Spider-Verse. Yeah, the sequel to Across the Spider-Verse, the second part of that. We're supposed to see that in 2025. Then we have, of course, I'm ready for that. What else do we have? Oh yeah, in 2024, we have Blade as well. That's supposed to be coming out. Thunderbolts, a couple of other things for the MCU. Um, Thunderbolts, I'm really excited for. Even though we have a lot of the same characters involved, a lot of super soldiers or spies, but I think they have a really good chance of redoing the Taskmaster in this one. We get to see Harrison Ford as the Red Hulk. Um, I just want to see it. I want to see how it goes, and I'm thinking it could be a better version of Suicide Squad. And of course, Blade, how I feel about Blade. And the Mission Impossible Part 2 of that, Mission Impossible 5 is supposed to come out. So it's a lot of stuff. What else we have here? Mission Impossible, yeah, Mission Impossible 5. And then Fast X Part 2. I didn't know there's supposed to be a Part 2 of that. I guess I have to watch Fast X Part 1 again so I can see how it was to be continued. I don't really remember how that was. Maybe I got to check that out. But yeah. a lot of stuff coming in 2025. GTA 6 coming out in 2025. Get your homies together because I think it's gonna be another interactive, a breakthrough. Like RP shit, man. I was watching that on streaming, watch people play, and that shit looks really good. Um, but yeah, I'm excited to see the next phase because yeah, I remember when multiplayer first came out for Grand Theft Auto and how that was so groundbreaking. But now with the explosion of RP and them knowing Rockstar knowing what the RP world is, how they can just take all their shit and just download and upload shit into it, and how they're cracking down on using name brand stuff in the GTA 5 and how it's going to be implemented in GTA 6. Maybe they can just put that all into one and have you be able to do RP from your actual PS5. I already heard they're going to have it be subscription based or some crazy shit like that and be $150. So maybe they are inputting that into the game itself, so you don't have to get a PC to actually be able to play RP. We'll see. I'm excited because I actually want to get back into it. I had it for a little while when it was free on PS5 when I first got my PS5, but after I saw I wasn't able to do the RP stuff, through my PlayStation 5, I was like, nah, I ain't playing this shit no more. But yeah, now it's the time. I'm gonna move over before we get into some cinema corner and some trailers. I'm gonna talk about one of my experiences that I plan to have every year, and I'm hoping more people are interested in going and actually link up with me and get to going as well. I'm gonna talk about I'm gonna talk about dual cameras too. Dual cameras. Hey, we back with the dual cameras. Not as much light because I don't have my ring light here, but hey, we went to Comic-Con 2023, LA Comic-Con, right next to the Staples Center at the LA Convention Center. And you guys were good to me, yo. It was a great time, and I wish everybody would have been there. So we would have the best of Bias family out there representing. We did so much, we saw so much creativity, so many amazing people, so much amazing information was passed through. The cosplay was amazing. The robots, the interactive, the panels, everything, the shopping, the comic book vibes, the statues, everything there was so much bigger and better. I mean, last year I think the cosplaying was a lot more people dressed up, but this year it's just like I understood more. That's my second year in a row. Shout out Damo. Shout out Honey for going to. Um, Shout out Little Kalia for keeping us company as well. We were out there doing some damage, going to all the shops, checking out everything, asking people questions, you know what I'm saying? Trading in comics, getting comic books signed by comic book artists. I want to show you guys everything that I got. It was a great haul, great time with great people, great food. It's just the atmosphere is just so amazing. You see the hoodie I got. I'm trying to pick up a hoodie every season I go, every year I go. I could it could sound like I'm putting on for real, but it was an incredible time. I wish you guys were there. I mean, last year we had it cataloged. This year I was waiting to kind of put out content for y'all. Hope it's not too late. I wanted to post stuff sloppily throughout the week, but I wanted to make sure that I had it in a video like this so I could show you guys exactly what was going on. And I hope when we get a clip of this too, we could make it a longer clip because this segment is gonna be pretty dope. AKA make this a clip where I'm showing you everything that I got because I'm gonna start. It's a lot of stuff. Yeah, I'm gonna start with the comic book artists that I went in. Your boy got the VIP this year, so I was able to get in early and go do some damage and grab a bunch of stuff and get in line early for the stuff I was supposed to get in line for. If you're not familiar with Comic-Con, I know you're probably thinking, "Oh, it's a bunch of nerds dressing up, blah blah blah, doing a whole bunch of different stuff." And the preconceived notion of how Comic-Con is, everybody thinks is like if you go there, you're gonna just go be on a bunch of sweaty virgin people who like cartoons and I don't know. I think it's just kind of crazy now. Crazy how people think of, Comic-Con like that. It's not. It's a pop culture experience. Everything that we talk about in this pod is represented there at the Comic-Con. People think it's all about superheroes or anime. No, there's video gaming there. Everybody plays video games. There's of course anime there. It just seems though everybody watches anime now. Comic books were how Comic-Con actually started. Comic-Con, where comic books were traded, comic books were purchased, comic books were sent in to get graded so you can sell them. Got into that Pokemon cards, like just weaponry, like swords and stuff, go-karts, technology, like voice actors, anything you can imagine, it was there. And I was really appreciative the second time around to be able to go and tackle and appreciate it more. First year, I was just there. Oh, yeah, I'm going to get Funko Pops. I'm going to stand in line for the exclusive Funko Pops. We were standing in line for 5 and 6 hours, standing there for stuff that is very new to Comic Con and at the same time is very me personally now that I've experienced it and I collect pops, it's very hype beasty. So it's like once you're in it and you know what you're doing, collecting the right stuff for the right reasons. After a while, it just becomes like, oh, people just want to say they collect pops, and there's pops for everything. And don't get me wrong, collecting pops is great. I encourage everybody to do it. But sometimes the company can get you to go overboard. You know, there's pops for everything. Every nostalgic moment you can think of, there's a pop for it. And if there's not one yet, there's going to be one next week. Any cartoon, any TV show, any sitcom, any sports player, any wrestler, any historical figure, any president, snacks, movies, like anything, if anything you can think of, they have a Funko Pop for it. So it's for everybody. And Funko doesn't only sell pops; they sell pins, they sell lounge fly bags, they sell the clothing, they sell like all kinds of stuff. There's a little something for everybody. So I really like how they diversify their business and stuff like that as well. But once they implemented that into Comic Con, man, LA Comic Con doesn't really get as much love for the Funko Pops as San Diego Comic Con, New York Comic Con, the Comic Cons in Brazil, a lot of those Wonder Cons and stuff like that. They all get, I feel like Funko Pop kind of works with them a lot more than they do support LA Comic Con, which is kind of crazy. But at the same time, I respect that because again, this year I was able to go out and meet these artists, comic book artists, rather than just going to Funko Pop people and getting the voice actors to sign it for a whole bunch of money. I did visit some of those people as well, but it actually gave me a chance to talk to vendors, talk to comic book artists that charge a lot less for their signature and for their time. And these artists are actually creating stuff that these movies and shows are based on. So for me to actually get to meet Scotty Young, to get to meet Ryan Otley, to get to meet Cody Ziegler, to get to meet the voice actor, I got to meet John Heder. That's obviously Napoleon Dynamite. Efren Ramirez, which is Pedro, a voice actor of Lobo. David Zabalov, who did we had what did he do? Gorilla Grodd. We have Sam De La Rosa, one of the first artists of Marvel, who drew a bunch of characters, but one of my favorite characters that he drew was Venom. So he signed my first edition Lethal Protector foil cover. Then he signed my Venom Funko Pop. And those are two things that I'll cherish forever because one, he created my favorite character, first one to draw my favorite character. And also, if I'm was to sell it in the future due to these historic figures being created, not only that, it's just that they'll be created and put into movies very soon. And as that happens, the value is just going to increase. But without further ado, I could talk about it all day, but let me just show you what I actually was able to pick up. I'm gonna start with the comics, and I put these in order of the artists. So starting with my Scotty Young, he's a great artist. I like Scotty Young in particular because of his style of art. It gives me really Calvin and Hobbes kind of like vibes, but he does that kind of art variant on these superhero covers. He's mostly a Marvel guy. I ordered his first DC book, which is a Batman book. Um, that should be coming soon, I hope. We're gonna fingers crossed that comes in the mail. It's gonna be graded. Him and Jason Aaron both are gonna be signed, and hopefully gets a high grade. But anyways, back to Scotty Young. We got a couple of books signed by him. This one I got signed recently over at the Comic Con. This is All Out Avengers with Blade on the cover. Pretty sick, pretty simple signature there, but he's a really cool dude. Really down to earth. Had a bunch of fans, man. Some really dedicated Scotty Young fans. This here's a Black Panther #2, it says. Yeah, Black Panther #2 signed by Scotty Young there. I think I showed you guys that before, but this is All Out Avengers #1 I got from Scotty Young. Really good art. Look at that art there. That on that yellow, it really pops a lot. But again, Scotty Young had a bunch of fans. Like somebody came there with 20 books, took them all out the plastic, got each book signed. He wowed through those. It was crazy. Cool dude, was happy to sign, really punctual with time, not really lagging like a lot of these celebrities do, try to get, and he was one of the more popular guys. I was there in line with him at 9 o'clock. He started signing at I think 9:30. So I was standing in line for 30 minutes before I was actually even able to sign, and the line was kind of all the way lining up through the convention center. Like I said, I got 3 books signed by him. One I got graded. Hopefully I can read my handwriting and get it to me. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens because yeah, it was a weird kind of situation with the lady that was doing the grading, but I'm gonna get it graded Scotty Young slabbed up, so that'll be like one of the dopest things that I've had. Next we had Cody Ziegler, artist who creates the newest Miles Morales and Spider-Punk comics. I got the Blade here. This is Miles Morales and Blade. If you can see it, the Cody Ziegler signed right there. Also, I got a little remark. I didn't know he did that. He did a little remark on the Spider-Punk. If you see Spider-Punk right there next to his wanted poster, is like some markings up there, like exclamation points, which is dope. That's dope as hell. You know what I'm saying? We saw him all in the Across the Spider-Verse. Yeah, I'm excited to read these if I even open them. But yeah, Cody Ziegler, ladies and gentlemen, go check out his comics. I had to get him Miles Morales and Blade, and I had to go see what the Spider-Punk was about, especially after Hobie was in Across the Spider-Verse. You know what I'm saying? I gotta check out some of those stories. That's another one. Miles Morales #2. This one's I'd give you that issue number. It's a Spider-Punk #4. Go check that out, and then another Miles Morales #11. But yeah, and then that Sam De La Rosa I was talking about. Look at that. Look at that cover. Lethal Protector #1, the foil cover. He signed with that silver pen that looks so smooth. I should have got this one graded right over the top, but this corner right here is folded a little bit, so it wouldn't have got a high grade. But shit, that shit is nice. I didn't get the COA for him, but I'm gonna hold on to this one anyway. I got numbers 1 through 6 through this first run of Lethal Protector. It's clean. Look at that shit. That foil is nice. That signature on top. Then I know you guys watch Invincible. I've been talking about Invincible a lot. I told y'all I was gonna meet Ryan Otley. I shook his hand, talked to him a little bit about I didn't really talk to him about Invincible, but he was talking and doing remarks for people in front of me, and he was able to talk a lot. He loved doing Invincible. It's doing great. Talk about Alan the Alien and Seth Rogen and the actors, the voice actors that are involved in the show are just great, man. And of course, I had to get some Ryan Otley signatures. I got one from New York Comic Con, so that was just a regular Invincible 1 cover with Ryan Otley signed it. You know what I'm saying? Look at the blood coming off there. That's that Otley signature blood right there. And then at this one, I actually did go buy a San Diego Comic Con Adam Eve cover. He was surprised when I brought this to get signed. He was like, "We have these here." He's like, "Nah, these are San Diego Comic Con. I got this from Whatnot." Yes, Ryan Otley, I got him to sign that for me, San Diego Comic-Con exclusive. And then I really wanted if you guys watching Invincible, Battle Beast is a badass. So I had to get her cover, Battle Beast, her just biting into somebody's brains. That shit's clean. Battle Beast is Invincible #19. Got that signed by Ryan Otley as well. Pretty regular signature. None of these got COAs, but I do now have 3 Ryan Otley signed books, 2 San Diego Comic Con exclusives, and a New York Comic Con. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know if I'm gonna read these books, but I got a lot, and it was a super come up. I was really happy to be able to get all these books signed and all this stuff from these artists, and I'm gonna keep supporting and collecting from these artists because man, I love it. I love the community, man. It's like I'm a collector, so I'm also in that community, shoes, Funko Pops, you know what I'm saying, comic books, you know what I'm saying? I just get kind of addicted, you know what I'm saying? Thank you, Comic-Con, for having me, but I'm not done yet. I'm not done yet. I had to go get some pops. I started doing comics, and comics was cool and all. But we're gonna go pops. Lobo. You guys know Lobo from the DC. He's like one of the anti-heroes in there, one of Superman's main villains. you know what I'm saying? This is not the main voice actor that did like the DC show, the Justice League or anything like that, but he did do Young Justice. Young Justice, if you guys watched that, is an up and coming show. Season 1 was great. Season 2 is good. Season 3 is good as well. And I think it's going to keep getting better and better. And Lobo being a character, I think that James Gunn's going to use in this DC revamp. I think they're going to use Jason Momoa for it too. I think this is his last Aquaman 2 is going to be his last Aquaman. So if he does become Lobo, you'll see a lot more of Lobo. You'll see a lot more of him in Young Justice. And I got a quote on the side, the main man. Yeah, that's what he says. Main man, that's what he calls himself, the main man, Lobo. But David Sobolov, excuse me, he does voice a whole bunch of characters. Gorilla Grodd, I think it's Kaito from One Piece. I haven't got there that yet in One Piece, so I didn't get that far, so I didn't know exactly what the name is. But he does great voice work. His voice is really deep. Of course, just think of Gorilla Grodd and you'll realize what his voice sounds like. But yeah, let me fix this real quick. Oh my God, that's looking. But yeah, and then of course I told you guys not only did I get Sam De La Rosa to sign the comic book, but I got him to sign the pop as well. He signs it really big too, right there on the cover of that Venom pop. All these were certified by a new company that I wasn't really familiar with. I usually do a PSA or JSA. This one was SWAU authentications. They had the little QR codes on the side, so you just I guess scan that and it proves their authentication now. But the big boys, let me bring those big boys out. Of course, John Heder, whatever you want to call it, and Napoleon Dynamite. He wrote my name on there, Patrick. He wrote Sweet, and he wrote his name, John Heder, right there. That was epic. One of my favorite movies. I even told him that I went and saw the movie like 5 times in the theaters with my friends, and that's no lie. This movie came out, I saw it one time in theaters, and I thought it was so hilarious that I had to go see it again. And then I had to go see it again with my friends. Then you have to sneak in and see it. Then you have to sneak in and see it again. So totally, yeah, I saw it about 5 times total. And then you can't have Napoleon without having Pedro. Thank you to Efren Ramirez. He's a really cool dude as well. He saw the pop and was really surprised that that I had it. He wrote "Vote for Pedro" on there and he wrote his name. He was selling custom pops himself out there because he didn't think a lot of people would have his pop, because these pops are all the way back from, you see that 15 on there? These pops are from 2015. So they're 7-year-old pops. And for us and for me to be lucky enough to get my hands on them and yet alone get them signed by John Heder and Pedro and Efren Ramirez was a blessing. And I'm so happy, man. The last couple cons I've went to, I've gone and got some incredible signatures. Also, oh yeah, I forgot about the statues I got. If you look back here where I'm pointing, I got these 2 statues. They had a whole bunch of Dragon Ball Z statues. I wanted to get a whole, you know how I feel about Trunks too. So I'm a big Trunks fan from Dragon Ball Z. So I wanted to get this really big figure of Trunks, but it was too big to fit in my suitcase. I just had carry-ons. I didn't want to check any bags. So I got 2 figures, one of a Trunks. You see him taking his jacket off, going Super Saiyan on him. It's kind of a bigger statue right there. And this one right here is this Gotenks because, you know, Miss Trunks and Goten fused. And it's another Super Saiyan character that I'm really fond of, you know what I'm saying? So I got him right here, Trunks here, Goten. I got Naruto right there, about to go 9 tails on him. Then I got Rock Lee standing right there next to what's my guy's name? Oh my gosh, why am I drawing a blank? It's not in Inosuke, it's Tanjiro. It's my boy Tanjiro, right there. I got all the Demon Slayer stuff up there. Zenitsu's right there. You see Edward Elric. You see Alphonse. Then I got Vegito. You know what I'm saying? You know, nothing big. You know what I'm saying? I got Luffy. You see Genos. You see my collection going crazy. If you look over here on this side, we got get this finger right. We got all the workaholics down there and up there. I don't know if I showed y'all that. And then yeah, man, it's getting crazy, bro. If y'all saw this side of the wall, but it's getting crazy. Thanks again, Comic-Con 2024. We'll be there as well. New sweater, new time. I'm gonna go all 3 days next year. I'm gonna be there on Friday. We'll be there Friday, Saturday, and we're gonna stay all day Sunday. You know what I'm saying? This year we had to make it quick because I didn't have much PTO time, but we're gonna find a way to get in San Diego Comic-Con. We're gonna find a way to get out to Galaxy Con. We're coming to you. That's in San Jose, I believe. We have a whole bunch of stuff to get some signatures, man, and we're not stopping. We got a whole bunch of pops, and we're gonna make this a business, man. We get everything signed here. That's the goal. That's the goal. That's the goal, if you ask me. But let's go to Cinnamon Coleman right here, quick, right here, before we get you guys up out of here. And again, if you guys want to roll with us, I mean, be a part of the team and just roll with us, be on the scene, record some stuff, interview some people. Let's get it done, man. Because we're gonna keep on going. This ain't gonna be the last time. And I know y'all worried about being made fun of or being hit with the stigma of going to Comic-Con, but man, I know y'all be watching this shit in private. You ain't gotta be scared. This is a welcoming thing, you know what I'm saying? It, you'll come around though. You'll come around. A couple of trailers that I saw recently. House of Dragons season 2, The Boys season 4, Godzilla versus Kong. Where should we start? Let's start with House of Dragons. I'm excited for season 2 because season 1 was left in a crazy place. Man, I don't remember all the names, but we saw, the king dying, Viserys or whatever his name was, and then we had the daughter end up marrying the brother Targaryen, or the brother Daemon Targaryen, having a baby, blah blah blah. Their son gets eaten by the Hightower's son in that fight. Towards the end, the dragon eats the other dragon, killing the son. So the two families are at war now. So we want to see what happens and how it gets further into that. I'm really excited to see that because it's been a lull. It's been a while, and I think that's coming out this summer, 2024 summer. So that'll be out. I remember we had that and Lord of the Rings simultaneously out. Hopefully that season's going to come out too, season 2 of that, so we can see how that kind of. I think I did see a preview for that coming out. I think towards December, or maybe it is this month. Maybe it is a little bit later next year. But Lord of the Rings, that first one season kind of came and went. But the House of Dragons, the drama, the residue from Game of Thrones is there, and it was all the rage. And I'm excited to see a season 2 of that and see what happens. See what happens with the dragons, because the dragons is something we were really missing from Game of Thrones. So for us to see like hella dragons and dragon fights and how the families connect and how all the history was made before Game of Thrones, I'm sure it's going to birth a lot of spinoffs, and the universe is still alive, and that's good to see. So go check out that preview. It showed a bunch of stuff. I wish I remember names more. But go check out that trailer if you didn't see it. The Boys season 4, that trailer is amazing too, coming off that Gen V season. And just seeing what we're gonna lead, knowing that leads directly into season 4, and season 4 is gonna bounce back into Gen V. But just seeing the preview for The Boys season 4 is just kind of interesting. We see a lot of the same characters back. Highlander's back, but he's gonna be a menace this year. We see a lot of similarities to the world the world now. We see Starlight as this one side of the world where they believe one thing is looks like one kind of political force, and then you have the Homelander side who don't give a fuck about the rules. And you saw what Homelander did to an opposing protester, just killed him on the spot. And some people that were out there protesting didn't care about it at all. So we're gonna see the fallout of that. Because we know that Vought can't control Highlander anymore, so he's going to be a threat. We know they have that virus now from Gen V that can kill superheroes. So is that the Mayor Lady going to use that on Highlander, Homelander, Highlander? So we're going to see what happens there. But we do see the faction of Starlight against Homelander. We see Huey and Mother's Milk and Billy the Butcher are still around, but they haven't died from taking that Gen V, the temporary V. I think they know how to hone it in now. They synthesized it, and Butcher is going to be a thorn in Homelander's thigh. They got rid of Soldier Boy, so now they're enemies again, and we're going to see the final chapter of how they're going to get rid of Homelander, and hopefully they kind of have his comeuppance now. We still see the Deep, and we still see A-Train involved, so we'll see how they grow, and we saw Queen Maeve as well, so we'll see how their characters kind of go now, kind of being apart from the Seven and being apart from Homelander, and Maeve actually not really dying, and people thinking she's dead and shit like that, but we're going to see. It looks good. Again, people are still fiending for that type of gory superhero, different spin on superhero takes and stuff. And after Gen V just going off, we're still feeling for more. So I'm excited to see that. And then lastly, the Godzilla versus Kong one. I don't know how I feel about this one. This is kind of crazy. I thought the first one didn't really get a good review, so I didn't feel like they were going to make a second one. But the second one looks even crazier. Godzilla and Girl Godzilla and King Kong are working together. Godzilla has an Infinity Gauntlet. There's a baby King Kong. He's a little Kong, but he's giant still. And Scar, the main bad guy, is a orangutan with the scar on his face that looks hella crazy and ugly. I don't know. I don't know how it's gonna be good. 'Cause I thought the first one should have just been left alone. Millie Bobby Brown's not in this one. The only person that's really a layover from the last one, I think, was Millie or the guy from paper from fucking what's Atlanta. I don't know his name. My bad, brother. He's from Internals too. He's in a whole bunch of shit. Class 2009, great actor. I just don't remember his name off top. But it's gonna be crazy, man. It's already causing a bunch of division. People thinking Godzilla's a girl now because somehow, for some reason, he has a whole bunch of pink throughout his body, like when his radiation comes up when he's about to blast a fire. It's pink, given it's giving girl. But who knows if Godzilla's supposed to be a guy? I guess it never really mattered until now. We always got to politicize shit, but yeah, we're gonna see. It's cool to see Godzilla and King Kong actually working together because it almost killed me seeing them fighting so much in the last one, and Godzilla almost getting, uh, King Kong almost getting marked by Godzilla and Mecha Godzilla. So yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see. I heard Godzilla Minus Zero is doing well in theaters right now. I'm kind of debating if I want to go see it in theaters and come back and review that for y'all. Just let it come out on streaming and let me watch it in other purposes, and I can come back and review it a little bit later. But there's a lot of stuff in theaters or out right now. I still want to kind of see. I'm gonna still watch Equalizer. I haven't seen that yet. I still want to watch Expendables and give my takes on those kind of action movies, see if they're corny or not, opposed to some other takes. But I'm gonna get back to watching movies for y'all. I'm gonna get back to the movie theaters and stuff right now. But you know what I'm saying? I have a lot of stuff to do coming up. Just got back from Comic-Con. I'm going to Cabo soon. Christmas is coming up. So a lot of money has to be spent outside this $20 a movie theater. You know what I'm saying? A lot of money to spend on stuff you can just wait a couple weeks to see easily. But I do have y'all in mind whenever I'm reviewing or watching some stuff to review. But there are some shows that I'm watching right now. Kanan, Raising Kanan just came back on Stars. If you guys are into the Powerverse or anything like that, that just came back. The challenge, I'm watching the challenge right now. It's the regular challenge. We're in the middle of that. Squid Games, the challenge is still on right now on Netflix. If you guys haven't checked that out, go check that out as well. But yeah, that's all I have for Cinema Corner right now. I don't really have much. No really super important shows. Actually, Monarch is out right now as well too. Since we're talking about Godzilla, go watch that on Apple Plus TV. I think it's Apple TV, Apple Plus, Apple TV Plus. I don't know what it's called. But yeah, Monarch is pretty much a show based on Godzilla. So there's like hella Godzilla content either out or coming out. So hey, you'll find your fix in one of those. Monarch is pretty good, so go check that out. I think it's episode 5 coming out tomorrow. Actually, I'll probably go watch that after I'm done reporting this as we speak. But yeah, thank you guys for joining us. I guess that's all I got for today. Thank you guys for joining. If you're looking for the podcast for anything related to young Lydell Dinero, you can find me firstly on Instagram. It's SAC_Lydell on the Instagram, Patrick_Lydell on the Snapchat. I think it is Patrick Lydell on the Instagram or X, they call it now. TikTok is Best of Bias Podcast. If you're looking for the podcast on YouTube, of course, just type in the Best of Bias Podcast or Best of Bias Podcast, aka almost has 200 videos. Should be 200 by now, if not 199 videos that he's edited beautifully, either clips, tournament videos, episode videos. Every piece of content that we record on here goes straight to YouTube. Well, give or take a couple of days, and he gets it up there, edited beautiful, clips, B-roll, all that kind of shit. Anything you want to see, it's in there. And especially our tournaments, we did some heavy work on those tournaments, so go check those out. Those are timeless. We did the first couple tournaments were anime, Kumite, where we had anime characters battle it out for supremacy to see what anime has the best main characters, and then we did the same thing for the secondary characters in the shows too. Go check those out. Those are in the clips area, or actually the tournament episodes area. And we have a whole bunch of clips on all these pods too. I promise y'all I'll get back to time stamping so we can have y'all pick and choose where y'all want to slide through on the podcast, because I do be jibber jabbering, but I got a lot to say. I have a lot to bias to go through, and I got a lot of fans out there, a lot of people out there, family members out there, got a lot that they want to hear about and hear it talk about. But more pop culture on the way, more guests on the way to talk about that pop culture as well, so we can really get into it. I got some homies that are going to talk about the AI and stuff. They had no more about the AI. I can get on here and talk movie reviews. I got some homies that are really big MCU heads and DCU heads like me. So we'll get here to talk about the future of that. Get AKA on here to talk about everything. We got boxing matches coming up, Star Wars stuff to talk about, all the stuff that AKA likes to talk about, and some cooking shows. Chelsea's gonna teach us how to cook some stuff. AKA got some recipes, so we're definitely gonna incorporate some cooking stuff closer to Christmas and these holidays. So stay tuned. There's stuff for everybody. Of course, there's merch available everywhere. Hit me up. You know where to find me on all those sites that I mentioned, or just DM me wherever you can hit me. And if you got my number, hit me there too. If I do owe you a package, it's coming out real soon. Shipping stuff out to send right now. Hit me up. I'm having a sale. It's gonna be a holiday sale on hats and beanies. $25, $32 with shipping. So just hit me up. Just hit me up. I got beanies, hats, dad hats, bucket hats, trucker hats. Of course, I wear the truckers all the time. And I have a couple of t-shirts left of my last special edition ones too. So hit me up if you need anything. And of course, come back to the podcast because we'll be here every goddamn week. You think you're not going to see me a week? There's a good reason for it. I'll let you guys know when I'm going to be missing. But this has been a streak. Again, we've been here since 2019. Just going to keep on growing and getting bigger and bigger every week. And we're not going to leave y'all without a dope beat to step to. So let's get it. It's the Best of Bias podcast. It's Lydell Dinero. And it's the Best of Bias podcast. We're more than a podcast. We're a merch gang. We about to come out with some superhero shit, comic books. We a podcast too, but we a media company as well. It's Best of Bias, Lydell Dinero, where that theme song at. It's right here. Peace out, y'all. Happy Friday. It's the best of bias. You need the earful, you should try us. From pop culture to the movies to Unitas. It's the best of bias. Best of bias, yeah. It's the best of bias.